Welcome to 31 Days of Horror, day 6. Today we'll be doing Psycho. Obviously, hopefully. But that was a giveaway from the outfit I'm wearing right now. That it's Psycho. But maybe I do just dress like this, every day. Who knows? But we're doing Psycho. Disclaimer real quick. I know I said that all these films would be my first time, but this one technically is my second time. I watched it as a teenager, so it's my first time as an adult. I don't really remember everything about it. And on top of that, this is horror. It does fall more into a thriller suspense area, but for the time period, this was horror. Psycho was released in 1960, and you can watch it on Netflix for free. But also, if you don't have Netflix, you can rent it for about $4 everywhere else. How to watch Psycho. I'm gonna say it, you can watch this alone. This can be someone's first time scary. Not scary anymore. It's very, very tame. But if they haven't seen a lot of scary things, this might be scary to them. So that's how to watch this. Aaron's horror tip. So every day I'm just gonna give you some tips about horror and how to watch it, or in general about the genre. And my tip for today, it's about what to do when you're watching old horror. What's great about popular horror is it can really tell you everything you need to know about what people were afraid of that time, right? Horror really speaks to the time period it's in and what's going on around it. When I watch horror from a specific time, I like to kind of know what came before it. Also important, what came after it, what we have not seen yet, and what things have. So I'd like to do just a little bit of research and kind of a research about the time, right? This is 1960. This is baby boomers being born at this time period. Obviously out of the Depression and now the American dream kind of situation. So things that were on the outskirts of society were really scary for this time. Then when I watch old horror, I like to imagine I'm in that time period. I know that sounds like a lot of work to do, but it can really help you get into the film, right? And then feel scared in the film, knowing all those things. It makes it more fun. Also, the generation that lived during the time when Psycho came out is here. So ask them questions. I was thankful enough that I was with my mom and I got to ask her questions about when she saw this or how she saw it or how old she was and what was going on. 1 minute summary, it's time. I have 1 minute to summarize this film for you without giving any spoilers away, so you can still watch this film, but this just helps to let you know if you want to see this film. So let's do it. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, so this is about a secretary named Marion Crane, and she's in love with this dude who's very hot. But she's in love with this dude, and she doesn't have enough money to be with him. He lives somewhere else. Lives in California. She lives in Arizona, and she wants to be with him. And then magically, she's a secretary for this real estate guy, and there's just money that's handed to her to put into the bank for this real estate invested thing happening. So she's trusted. She's obviously a trustworthy person. She's obviously a good person. And she decides to take this money and run with it, essentially. And then it's kind of about her journey to getting to California, to getting to this man that she's in love with, that she wants to be with, and kind of spend this, I think it's $40,000 with him, which I guess at the time, it's very expensive. It's a lot of money. And then she gets to the Bates Motel to stay a night there, and between that and she meets Norman Bates. I think that's good. 1 minute. That's enough to tell you, right? And then chaos. So that's a summary of the film, but now I want to give you my thoughts about the film, and I never like to pre-plan and write things down and try to give you a thesis statement about what I thought, but I want to give you just a minute. I got a minute, so it's right on top of my head, so this is just off the cuff, my thoughts about it. In 3, 2, 1. So, you gotta love Psycho. It's just like, it's the originator of so much great suspense horror films, and this, obviously is much slower. It's not as scary as it was, but watching it in the gaze of that in the 1960s, yeah, I can get it. It's freaking terrifying. The shower scene, I don't want to give away too much, but for the time period, I really thought that was we saw a lot of naked. There was blood everywhere and stabbing. For the time period, this is a lot going on. As well as, is it just me? Anthony Perkins, man, he can get it. Is that a me thing? Is that something's wrong with me? I mean, I don't know if Norman Bates can get it, but Anthony Perkins, you can get it. As well as, my mom was telling me that even her toilet, the fact that we got to see inside of her toilet for the time period was really taboo. That was a big deal that we were seeing inside the woman. So him looking through the peephole and seeing that, so yeah, Psycho, it's a good one. It's good. That's a minute. I just want to tell you about my experience. I think when we watch horror films, what matters really is who we watched it with, how we watched it, what was our experience, because it can just change the way we feel about a film depending on who we were with and what we were doing. So here's my own personal experience. I got to watch this with my mom. It's like her favorite scary movie. She loves Alfred Hitchcock. We watched it together, and I brought the Halloween decorations down and I brought Mother out. My Halloween decoration is typically dressed like Mother. But and then I also dressed like Norman Bates just to make it more fun and make it an experience. All those things really helped me be invested in this film, as well as hearing my mother and having my mother talking about the film and how he shot it and why he shot it the way he shot it, that it's always feeling like someone is watching you at all times, which also really helps with the big reveal of things that someone's always watching you. And I'm so grateful for that moment that I got to have with my mother. And it's not scary anymore, but I get why it was scary at the time because of that. And it also got me thinking about Norman Bates and, you know, what people were afraid of. I think at this time period, people were really afraid of things that were different or on the outskirts, psychos, and what was psycho for that time period? I think that they were afraid of the queer, right? The weird, the different. Because Norman Bates as a character is a queer icon. Murderer, but a queer icon. And the way that he's discussed in the ending, not by the psychologist, but by everyone else of the information that are given to him, it's very telling of the time period that we're in. Now, did it stick the ending? Yeah, Psycho sticks its ending. I think that's a 5. I think Mother agrees. It's a full 5 here. That was a plot twist of all plot twists. If you don't know how it ends and you've never heard anything, it's a great plot twist. Yeah, it's a great ending. Good ending. That's a 5. I think that's my first 5. I mean, let's be honest, the ending is this film, right? I mean, the shower scene, but the ending really makes it. Time for Aaron's category. This is where I put the film in a fun category, so you know what you're in for, who this might be made for. So here we go. These are the categories I would put. Psycho. This is psychological, obviously psycho, but also psychological. It's much more about what's going on, thinking about, it's more like the horrific things you're not seeing. This is a safe scare. I'm calling this a safe scare. Like, you are safe to watch this if you have never been scared before, right? It's an easy scare. And suspenseful. It's a suspense movie. You're really invested. You're on the edge of your seat. You want to know what's going to happen, to how this is all going to unravel. So suspenseful. And mystery. This is a mystery. So if you like a good mystery of who is this killer, what is going on, what is this movie even about, what am I watching? It takes forever to get there, right? Which, on that note, it's a slow burner. It's a slow burner. So those are my 5. Those are what I'm going to give it, those 5. Psychological, safe space, suspenseful, mystery, slow burner, slow burn. Those are the 5. Now, would I stab it again? Am I gonna watch Psycho again? Now, I watched it my first time as a teenager. This is my first time as an adult. So as an adult, this is would I watch it again? Would I stab it again? And I would stab it again, but I wouldn't stab it again right away. Classic, it deserves all the accolades it gets. It is amazing for its time period. I just don't know if I need to stab it for a while now. It'd be better to watch it again later on. I'll stab it again, but caveat, not right away. So let us know in the comments what you thought. Have you ever seen Psycho? It's a classic, right? Gotta have seen it hopefully once. Let me know in the comments what you think. We're dying to know. Happy Halloween.